Hello there and welcome to Eye on Pod. It is proudly brought to you by our own Ghana Community Network Services, GCNet, also Ghana Oil Company Limited, GOIL, and West Blue Consulting. The proud media partner for this program is the Business and Financial Times. And folks, this week, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has a new Director General. He was introduced to the senior management staff by the Honourable Minister for Transport, Kweku Ofori-Esiama.
The Minister of Transport, Kweku Ofori-Esiama, has officially introduced Michael Luguje as the Acting Director General of Ghana's Ports and Harbours Authority to the senior management of that organization. The minister noted that the Director General was appointed upon a careful consideration by the President and is therefore optimistic that with his rich experience, the new Director General will deliver in line with the President's vision.
I'm here to introduce Mr. Michael Luguje as the new Acting Director General of GPHA, like I said, pending the board's approval. I hope that the support that you give the former Director General, or the Director General that you vote under, you will give the same support to.
The Director of Tema Port, Edward Kofi Osei, congratulated the new Director General, Michael Luguje, and assured that he, together with the management of Tema Port and the entire staff, will work very hard to see to the success of Ghana's ports.
We will go out as a team. We will work as a team. We will take GPHA to better heights.
The Acting Director General of GPHA, Michael Luguje, said he is prepared to work with every member of the staff of the authority, particularly the senior management.
I've always focused on the job that has to be done. Not just to be done, but how can we do it better than it has always been done. And once we are able to do that, we all share in the credit. I don't believe in saying I did it. It's always we all did it, and the credit is shared.
So after introducing Mr. Michael Luguje to the senior management staff, the Honourable Minister of Transport also introduced him to the media and the general public.
In a related development, the Transport Minister also met with the media in a separate encounter to introduce the new Director General of Ghana's Ports and Harbours Authority to the Ghanaian public.
I'm here this morning to do one basic function, to introduce to you, to the management of GPHA and to the media, the new Director General, whom the President has appointed to be Acting Director General until his appointment is approved by the board.
The Transport Minister urged the new DG to complement efforts by the government to undertake reforms within the port sector.
My expectation is that the President has his own vision for the country and for GPHA, and I'm sure that he will be able to fit into the vision of the President and help the President to succeed and help the President to make sure that whatever decision that we want to take so far GPHA is concerned will be successful and is good to enhance the image of GPHA and also improve the services that the GPHA runs.
He re-echoed that the management of GPHA have been charged to assist the new DG to excel on his responsibilities.
Any system, any new system that you introduce, there may be problems, but your ability to withstand the problems and deal with them, to me, is very important.
The Acting Director General of GPHA, Michael Luguje, said he is prepared to work with every member of the staff of the authority, particularly the senior management, to ensure that Ghana continues to be the leading gateway to West Africa's maritime trade.
The assignment was just to come and superintend over the port, work with the team in place to ensure that the ports continue to grow better, they are positioned better to compete within the sub-region, and at least continue to play the role expected of us to ensure Ghana is the leading gateway to West Africa's maritime trade.
He said much progress had been made within the port environment and that he intended to build on the successes chalked so far.
The more you succeed, the more responsible you must be to ensure you don't retrogress. So I am just coming to be able to continue on that trend.
He added that it is part of his objectives to get all workers to rally with management as one team to be able to move the port sector forward.
So subsequently, a debate was held by the management of the Port Authority there to introduce the new Director General to the entire staff of Ghana's Port and Harbours Authority.
Management of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has held a debate to introduce the Acting Director General of the Port Authority, Michael Luguje, to the entire workforce. Michael Luguje is an accomplished bilingual port management specialist, a senior management level employee of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority who was on technical secondment to the Port Management Association of Western Central Africa. The Director of the Port of Tema, Edward Kofi Osei, introduced the new Director General, saying a new era of leadership has begun at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and that Michael Luguje is a born and bred GPHA staff who happens to be back in a higher position.
A new era has begun at GPHA. We have a new leader, and he's the name of Mr. Michael Luguje.
Let's put our hands together. Do it bigger for Mr. Michael Luguje.
Yes.
The Acting Director General of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Michael Luguje, expressed his appreciation to the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, for the confidence reposed in him.
That honor and gratitude certainly is extended to the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, and his government, of course, for having found me worthy enough to come at this time in the life of GPHA, to join the GPHA team for us to continue to ensure that the GPHA ship remains very active and mobile on our waters.
He said Ghana's ports have been very efficient and considered part of the best 3 ports in West Africa, hence called for the need to consolidate those gains.
Around the continent of Africa, Ghana ports remain one of the best. And if you take West and Central Africa, the 20 member states, Tema Port is leading in container traffic. I think as far as container handling productivity is concerned, in Africa, Tema is among the top 3.
Michael Luguje encouraged the entire workforce to dedicate their energy to their required job and responsibilities. He promised to seek the interests of the workers, make their conditions better, and also solicited their support.
I'm going to work without discrimination. I'm going to relate with everybody without discrimination. But while I say I will not discriminate, there is a responsibility attached to it. If you want to benefit from the system in a very objective manner, you have a responsibility to also objectively put up your best and perform on your job.
So that was the new Director General of Ghana's Ports and Harbours Authority, Mr. Michael Luguje, that debate there being introduced to the staff and also addressing the staff after taking over mantle the Ports and Harbours Authority. But who at all is Mr. Michael Luguje? A lot of you have been asking, is he a staff of the Port Authority? Was he working there before? Where has he been? Who is he? We tried to uncover and reveal the man, Michael Luguje, the new Director General of the Port Authority.
Michael Achagwe Luguje is a Ghanaian accomplished bilingual port management specialist. He hails from Navrongo in the Upper East region of Ghana and was born at Pong, Tamale in Ghana's northern region.
Originally from Navrongo, born and bred in Pong Tamale in the northern region, and schooled in Tamale, Navrongo, then to Legon.
Prior to his elevation into the higher office of the Director General, Michael Luguje was serving as a senior management level employee of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, who was on a technical secondment to the Ports Management Association of Western Central Africa. He has extensive international experience in the ports sector of Western Central Africa. Michael Luguje holds an executive MBA in Project and Strategic Management from Paris Graduate School of Management in France. He also holds a Master of Science in Maritime Affairs from the World Maritime University in Malmö in Sweden.
From Mr. Usmen's time, that was when I went to do my master's in Sweden, came back and got appointed by him as his personal assistant.
He had earlier in life acquired his Bachelor of Arts degree in French and Linguistics from the University of Ghana, Legon. Michael Luguje has attended various professional training seminars and workshops on port reforms, human resource management, performance indicators, concessions management, and project management. His last position before his elevation as Acting Director General of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority was the Secretary General of the Port Management Association of Western Central Africa, which is headquartered in Lagos, Nigeria. He had occupied that position since August 2012.
And the Ports Authority recalled me again and to second me as a candidate to the Ports Management Association of West and Central Africa, which is an elective position. So I was elected to serve that association for the first 4 years, which ended, and I was re-elected for the second time.
Michael Luguje was also the Executive Secretary of Pan-African Association of Port Corporation in Lagos, Nigeria from August 2012 to February 2017. He was also the Regional Coordinator for Western Central Africa at the International Maritime Organization IMO, a UN agency responsible for global regulation of shipping and maritime transport from April 2007 to July 2012.
From 1999 to 2007, I was seconded by the Port Authority from 2007 to 2012 to the International Maritime Organization office in Accra. That office is responsible for region to coordinate technical assistance of the IMO. I worked there for 5 years.
In the course of his service at GPHA, Michael Luguje was also the planning manager and special assistant to the then Director General of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Ben Owusu-Mensah, from October 2004 to March 2007. From the year 2001 to 2004, he was the Senior Public Relations and Marketing Officer at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and prior to that, from 1999 to 2001, he was the Human Resource and Training Officer at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority.
From January 1999, that is when I started my true career in Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. And I started with the training department, and I wish to indicate that I came here because I studied French in the University of Ghana.
Michael Luguje had his national service as a French instructor at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority from October 1997 to 1998.
Came to GPHA for national service in 97-98, and fortunately for me, by the time I finished the national service, management felt it useful to recruit me.
He has consulted widely for a number of institutions, both locally and internationally, offering advice for global investors with interest in Africa's port sector through partner consulting firms including Callis in France and Alpha Sites in London and Dubai from 2015 to 2016. Michael Luguje provided key expert support services to a number of other renowned international consulting firms, including MTBS in Holland, Duca Consulting in the USA, Codex SA in Cote d'Ivoire, Benin Consult in Ghana, Ministry of Trade in Ghana, Customs of Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Nigeria, and Togo. Michael Luguje also has extensive expertise in port policy and management with specialization in port reforms, port supply chain and trade facilitation, privatization, business development and human resource management, and port and maritime institutional cooperation at the regional and continental level. His professional accomplishments include, but not limited to, providing overall leadership policy advice, coordination and implementation for the 20 member states Port Management Association of Western Central Africa, as well as the Pan-African Association for Ports Corporation, covering the entire port sector of Africa. In the course of his career, he has provided global port sector inputs to help Western Central African ports to reposition themselves and look beyond direct port business and to mainstream trade facilitation. Among some of Michael Luguje's achievements at the pinnacle of continental port reforms and management, he conducted needs assessment for member ports of Western Central Africa, recommended relevant training in port concessions management, port performance indicators, contemporary human resource management, port efficiency and optimal infrastructure utilization, port community systems, and trade single windows, as well as recruited consultants to provide needed training to member ports within the region. Michael Luguje proposed and initiated key reforms of the Port Management Association of Western Central Africa Regional Port Training Center to provide best value training programs for the benefit of member ports and the transport sector in general. Michael Luguje also played active roles in various trade facilitation committees in Ghana for the development of trade to and from Ghana's landlocked neighboring countries. Already, some industry players have welcomed Michael Luguje's appointment with kind words.
The Importers and Exporters Association wishes to use this opportunity to congratulate him and wish him all his best, and we will support him.
This is a known face already who knows the terrain. He has worked within the GPHA for some time and he knows all what there is. He will be up to the task and what it requires to take GPHA forward from where Paul has left it.
The players are also hopeful of greater improvement in port policy directions within Ghana.
Our port is expanding. Come 2019-2020, the new port will be open for businesses. So why are we expanding our port just to be exporting empty containers? So what can be done about export? So I'm hoping that this is a challenge I wanted to throw to Mr. Michael Luguje.
My expectation as far as the paperless project is concerned, it is about trade facilitation. How you whip up GPHA to streamline and smooth out the rough edges that is inhibiting the connectivity between the agent's declaration work electronically.
The industry players, however, assure him of their unflinching cooperation.
Our doors are open. The Importers and Exporters Association doors are open. We are prepared to work with him. Even if he pick a phone and call us in the night, we will respond to his call.
We currently are on the quiet, but when it matters and we are called upon, we will give our helping hands and give our knowledge that we have within the maritime sector.
So that was Mr. Michael Luguje revealed in that profile there. He's the new Director General of Ghana's Ports and Harbours Authority. We will continue to pray for him and wish him well in all of his endeavors. And we pray that the entire port community also support Mr. Michael Luguje to execute his responsibilities as Ghana's port. Iron Port returns after the break.
Hello.
Good morning, this is Samantha Wendy. I am sending a purchase order from SA2 Ventures International. Our policy for new supplies is 2 containers to start with, but you must deliver within 30 days.
Don't worry at all. I'm going to get you the 4 containers within 30 days or less. Bye.
To get his pineapple slices from his country to his clients overseas, Mr. Appiah and his representatives have to complete a number of regulatory compliance procedures to various international trade stakeholders.
Hey, Baba, what's going on? Get it right? I mean, how?
Using single window, Mr. Appiah has completed all his international trade procedures through one portal. He has registered his company information, applied for the necessary permit, certificates and licenses, and all that remains is for him to get a text alert for clearance and movement of goods. And that's how simple facilitating international trade could be in a single window environment. You can offer competitive services to your trading partners in China, America, even here in a simpler, faster, and cost-effective way. Single window, the only way to Ghana's economic growth is in our hands.
Here's innovation from GOIL that takes you further. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex. and GOIL has innovated to stay ahead. Expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 News. Innovation that takes you further. GOIL. Good energy.
Fraud alert. GPHA does not auction. Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority wishes to inform the general public that the authority does not buy and sell on internet platforms and does not auction cars and other items in and around the port. Beware of fraudsters who claim to auction cars and other items in the ports and defraud people in the process. For further information, contact tema@ghanaports.net or call +233 303 202 758. Beware of fraudsters.
Welcome back from the break. Still watching Eye on Port, and coming up next are news and activities that are happening in and around the port and maritime industry.
The Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, GIFF, says they will seek legal action to register their disagreement over the implementation of the Cargo Tracking Note (CTN) policy. The Cargo Tracking Note (CTN) is a platform by the Ghana Revenue Authority (GRA) for collection and management of commercials and logistical information relating to the cargo and ship from the port of loading. The Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders is one of the main groups strongly against this policy. The organization argued the CTN is not only a duplication of the existing platform, but will also increase the cost of doing business at the port.
If you see the manifest structure, as we are going to see by 1st of September, you will see the gaps that have been filled. Two of those gaps that have been filled that CTN is saying they are going or they are coming to town with is the value of the cargo and the freight, the value of freight, or freight as we call it. You know, so with all of these gaps that have been filled, one wonders why folks are still bent on the introduction of this cargo tracking law.
President of GIFF, Kwabena Ofoswapia, however, says his outfit may head to court to stop Ghana Revenue Authority from continuing the policy which started on July 1st, 2018.
With all this confusion that has been thrown into the shipping subsector, we are losing out, and once these traders get comfortable with another route, we are finished.
However, the Deputy Minister of Trade and Industries, Carlos Ahinkra, insists the CTN will come with no cost to businesses.
So the GRA, the government body that is in charge of this exercise, is doing everything possible to come up with ways and means to ensure that collection of revenue is maximized.
This is the third attempt by the Ghana Revenue Authority to implement the policy. On May 28, 2018, a statement was issued from the Office of the Vice President for a suspension of the CTN. The letter, among other things, noted the manifest structure which already exists was more efficient than the CTN, hence the need for the suspension. Despite this letter from the Presidency, the GRA has gone ahead with the implementation effective July 1st, which was contained in a letter dated 4 June 2018. The Ghana Revenue Authority, however, warned shipments that are not covered by a valid CTN number will not be cleared through customs in Ghana and fines may apply.
Ghana will for the 5th time hold this year's African Maritime Week on bunkering, which is the fueling of vessels from the 9th to 13th July 2018. As a result, Ghana's leading oil marketing company GOIL, which is a key sponsor of the African Maritime Week, says it is positioning itself to take advantage of the training opportunity the event offers to upgrade the knowledge of its staff in the bunkering business.
Before the conference, we are going to have 2 days of training on shipping. We having our staff participating because we always want to upgrade the knowledge of our staff in this specialized area. Bunkering is so specialized that you don't just allow people to do it, and therefore we always want to upgrade the knowledge of our staff. So GOIL is heavily represented in the 2-day training program.
Speaking in an interview with Eye on Port, the Chief Operating Officer of GOIL, Alex Axiu, said the intensive 2-day course ahead of the Maritime Week will examine bunker trading and sales, price risk management, fuel supply and bunkering operations, and the far-reaching impact on global bunker markets of new emissions regulations.
We'll be discussing something on ethics in bunkering. We'll also have the regulators coming to, give a presentation on some of the regulatory issues that involves bunkering.
He said the conference will also be looking at how both Tema and Takoradi ports, which are currently undergoing expansion works, will take advantage of the increasing shipping opportunities that will be available as a country. Alex Axiu said GOIL's marine gas oil tanks at the port of Takoradi continues to provide quality fuel to vessels in a very safe and healthy environment.
We did this because we want to give the ocean-going vessels, oil traders, and then those who are working on our oil fields, the confidence that GOIL has an infrastructure that will enable them bunker their fuels, hassle-free.
He said GOIL's bunkering prices are also very competitive along the major ports in West Africa in order to generate the needed revenue for the state.
We are very, very competitive in pricing.
Alex Axiu said discussions are underway between GOIL and Ghana's Port Authority to put in place arrangements that will attract vessels along the West Africa coastline to call Ghana's ports for bunkering services.
The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has organized a one-month tactical swimming lessons for personnel of the Fire and Safety Department of the Port of Tema. The main aim of the swimming lesson was to equip officers with the ability to swim in order to improve their professionalism and survival in their field of work. The Fire and Safety Manager of Tema Port, Jimmy Nabdaisy, emphasized on the need for all officers to acquire swimming lessons in order to help improve their professional capabilities in their fields, considering the scope of work and the marine environments they are exposed to.
The port industry is evolving, and to keep pace with competition, having a well-trained staff is a key strategic asset to stay ahead and survive in this competitive industry.
Jimmy Nabdaisy was pleased with the management of GPHA for introducing the training program for the Fire and Safety Department. He congratulated the officers who, despite some existing conditions, courageously participated in the session from start to the end.
And I believe very much that management, looking at the potential in us, will still go on continuously to upgrade us to a status in which would benefit massively the organization.
The training manager of Tema Port, Florence Hagan, commended the fire and safety officers for their composure and the course of the training and encouraged them to keep practicing on their own so as to be perfect.
I'm very confident in you as far as you are emergency personnel, and also happy to see you have the knowledge and skills to assist in case of any incident.
The Ghana Maritime Authority says it will be conducting port state inspection on vessels that call at the anchorage of Ghana's ports, following the oil tanker vessel that split into two at the Tema Port anchorage. It will be recalled that a Bahamas registered oil tanker vessel, MT Alice, which had called at the anchorage of the Tema Port, caved in and split into two, but there were no casualties. The Deputy Minister of Transport, Daniel Titus Glover, called on the Ghana Maritime Authority and other stakeholders to ensure that vessels that call at the country's ports are seaworthy to prevent avoidable accidents.
This fall directly under Ghana Maritime Authority. I will try and bring it to the attention of the Director General to look at some of these vessels that call on our ports.
In line with this, the Director General of GMA, Kwame Owusu, said the inspection will also be aimed at preventing spillage and pollution at the anchorage from vessels that are not seaworthy or in terrible state.
The authority now is putting in measures to make sure that even though they have not come to berth, once they are now anchored in terms of pollution and spillages and the rest, we are going to go after them.
Speaking to journalists on the sidelines of the International Day of the Seafarer, the GMA boss said he is committed to fighting illicit activities in Ghanaian waters.
I think we are pictured to see a couple of them. We are now chasing all arrested people from Adans and the rest, and we'll put in measures that anyone that comes there, we are going to have a post-state control inspection, and also to make sure they have a course for being there.
The Volta River Authority has commended the Port Authority for its continuous support in discharging its equipment. This follows the receipt of a roto equipment for the VRA from the Tema port. About 5 months ago, the roto from the Abuazi thermal plant was transported to General Electrical's workshop, UAE, for repair works after a malfunction was detected, according to the Community Relations Officer of VRA, William Apeu. This roto equipment is a component of a generator that enables the distribution of electrical energy. William Apeu of the VRA informed that in the absence of this equipment, the VRA were unable to generate 110 megawatts of electricity to the national grid.
We are going to transport this rotor to Abuazi. Then, few weeks, we are sure generator 2 will be online. Then we just program it into the national grid.
He, however, expressed satisfaction that within a few weeks, the equipment will be fully operational and the 110 megawatts lost would be restored to the national grid. He expressed gratitude to the Port Authority on behalf of the Volta River Authority for assisting in the care and transport of the rotor, which he described as a very crucial equipment.
I think I need to commend the port security and then the administrators as well. They have been so supportive.
In order to encourage more LNG tankers to transit the Suez Canal Authority has increased the allowed level of cargo residues on LNG tankers. As early as July 1st, the allowed residues of LNG cargo shall be raised to 5% of the vessel's summer deadweight ton instead of 2% to grant the LNG vessels the privilege of ballast vessels dues rate, the Canal Authority says. The announcement comes as the Suez Canal reports its highest annual revenue, reaching $5.85 billion, an increase of 11.5% from last year. The International Chamber of Shipping (ICS) voiced its fierce opposition to the concept of mandatory operational efficiency indexing of individual ships as a result of possible candidate measure for carbon dioxide reduction. In its latest publication titled Reducing Carbon Dioxide Emissions to Zero, the ICS argues that mandatory indexing of ships would lead to serious market distortion. The document has been published with the aim of endorsing the recent adoption of decarbonization strategy by the United Nations International Maritime Organization. However, the IMO is yet to ascertain which measure should be taken to achieve the reduction goals. Oslo-listed ship owner Ocean Yield ASA has taken delivery of 4 2014-built 3,800 TEU container vessels. Upon delivery, the vessels commenced 12 years bareboat charters to companies owned by Antwerp ship owner CMB NV. After taking private in 2015, CMB is now wholly owned by the Savres family. The company agreed to acquire the quartet in early June this year for $120 million net of prepaid charter high.
Here's innovation from GOIL that takes you further. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and GOIL has innovated to stay ahead. Expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. GOIL. Good energy.
Next up are schedules of vessels that are sitting in the port, those at Anchorage, those expected in the coming week, including fishing vessels that are bringing the fish that you consume in the market, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rate you need to know to clear your goods from the port. Next. So that should be it for this week's episode of Iron Port. We have to say a big congratulations to the new Director General, Mr. Michael Luguje, once more. And we have to say a big thank you to you also for watching the program. And a big thank you to the entire crew who make the program possible. I'll begin with the executive producers of this program, Madam Abna Sewa Opoku Fosu, as well as Madam Esther Jebidonko. We say thank you to Joe Bone, Joe Lavo, Godwin Kabute, Solomon Anderson, Robert Nyantechi, Belinda Deke, Lawrence Gezi, Mahmoud Kamara, who has been driving the entire crew all around. Thank you for supporting the program and thanks for watching.